What if I told you the most dangerous outlet in this tactical machinery isn't a superstar, but a Danish dynamo who turned United's frustration into pure adrenaline? Once a name that left fans restless, he became the one they now desperately crave. So, what on earth happened to Patrick Dorgu? Where did he vanish to? Since that hamstring tear and the 3-2 triumph over Arsenal, he has been a ghost in the matchday squad, a void that grows larger with every passing whistle. But finally, the silence is broken. Manchester United have dropped critical updates regarding his recovery, from training ground footage to his roadmap back to the grass. Before the setback, let's be clear, Dorgu was the most informed player at the club. He was flying, a true difference maker, until the injury snapped the momentum like a brittle thread. The club has issued an official bulletin, and for the first time, we have a reason to hope. The comeback trails back to that Arsenal clash, a day of poetic brilliance and sudden agony. That finish, honestly, it's a genuine contender for United's goal of the season. But in the blink of an eye, he was clutching his thigh, the grimace of a man who knew the script had gone wrong. That was late January. Months of silence have followed while the team soldiered on without him. Back in February, Michael Carrick hinted at a return before the curtain falls, but the timeline remained shrouded in mist. Now, the fog is lifting. Dorgu is grinding at Carrington, working under the elite medical staff to rebuild the engine. Focus is on raw power and physical resilience. It's a strange brotherhood. Long-term absentees often become closer to their physios than their teammates, sharing the sweat and the pain of recovery. But let's cut to the chase. Why does his absence hurt so much? Why is he the linchpin of this system? I believe Carrick's greatest tactical masterstroke this season was deploying Dorgu as a winger. It sounds simple, yet it solved a plethora of issues in both phases. We knew him for his lungs, his intensity, a player who could press for 90 minutes without breaking stride. Those are traits you expect from a defender. But labeling him a mere fullback is now blasphemy. United's current front line lacks bite. They lack intensity. When the ball is lost, they fail to suffocate the opposition, leaving the structure vulnerable and the transitions messy. Look at Kuna, a technician, a creator. But asking him to carry the creative burden and the physical load is asking for burnout. We've seen him flag in the final moments. So instead of breaking your artists, you unleash a monster, a man who can press and terrorize from the front. When you have a weapon like that, the entire defensive blockade improves. But here is the kicker. We expected energy. We got goals. These weren't flukes. These were clinical finishes from a man with ice in his veins. His spatial awareness is elite. When Dorgu plays higher, you realize he isn't just a workhorse. He has the feels, the positioning, the predatory instinct. That is what makes him so intriguing. He is a different beast entirely when given the freedom to attack. If Carrick continues to polish this diamond, United don't just have a backup, they have a tactical wildcard. His imminent return is genuine cause for excitement. I didn't realize how much we missed him until the system started to look toothless without his bite. United are still scoring, sure, but they've become predictable, especially on the left flank where the options have grown stale. Opponents are reading the script before it's even written, and that is where Dorgu's value lies, in the chaos he creates. He is the variety this engine needs. If the recovery stays on track, United are getting their X-factor back for the run-in. You have Kuna, you have Luke Shaw, but Shaw can't provide that overlapping threat like he used to. We all see it. Kuna's instinct is to drift inside, leaving the width vacuumed. But Dorgu, he stretches the pitch. He breathes life into the channels. Whether it's crosses for Sesko or his relentless drive, his physicality combined with technical efficiency is a rare breed. Remember his dominance against BM. Kuna was a nightmare for their right back, drawing pressure and winning penalties like it was second nature. But the core problem remains. Shaw can't overlap, and Kuna wants to drift into the half spaces. The team lacks natural width, and that is where Dorgu changes the equation. From those whipped crosses for Sesko to his overall impact early in the campaign, you see the marriage of elite physicality and technical output. Before, we questioned his end product. We asked, where are the goals? But against City and Arsenal, he didn't just run, he delivered. A player maturing right before our eyes. Seeing him grinding at Carrington, hitting every milestone on the roadmap, it's a massive boost for the gaffer. But the million-dollar question remains. when does he actually cross the white line again? For the United faithful, this 23-day hiatus feels like an eternity. Yet for Dorgu, it's a blessing in disguise, a chance to bridge the gap. The target is mid-April. The clash with GL is circling on the calendar. If he stays on this trajectory, we could see him back on the grass in early April. I previously warned that expecting him to hit top gear immediately was a fantasy, and that stands. His intensity was at its zenith before the injury, and reclaiming that peak is a mountain to climb. But looking at the schedule, Chelsea could be the moment he makes the bench. Or perhaps, if the medical team stays cautious, Brentford on the 27th is the smarter play. Following the careful management of players like Martinez, United won't rush their assets. But imagine it, 5 crucial fixtures to end the season. Liverpool, Sunderland, Forest, it's a mouth-watering prospect. The sight of him with the ball at his feet, even in light recovery, sends a jolt of electricity through the fan base. Rehab with resistance bands is one thing. The thunder of a match day is another. But the arrows are all pointing in the right direction. He won't be a starter from day one, but his presence alone injects variety into a squad that has looked too rigid. Without him, opponents just pack the middle. They ignore the flanks because the threat isn't there. But Dorgu changes the gravity of the pitch. He brings width. He brings flexibility. And frankly, I see his future as a pure winger rather than a fullback. The summer window will dictate the long-term blueprint. But for now, the boy is healing. The plan is in motion, and April looks set to be the month of the Danish return. It's the news United needed, the missing piece for the final sprint. So, is Patrick Dorgu the key to unlocking United's ceiling, or are we putting too much pressure on a young man's shoulders? Drop your verdict in the comments. And if you crave the deepest football analysis, hit subscribe and join the BallPulse family. We break down the beautiful game every single week.